Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the voice you hear is of the Silver-Tongued Devil, of the big, bad kaiju O'Shea Edwards. And this, my friends, this is Wrestling Cheers.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
And welcome back to Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, even if you were trained by Lex Luger. This is Wrestling Cheers. We like to talk about things going on in Northeast Ohio independent wrestling scene. We preview shows, we review shows, and sometimes we even have interviews along the way. This is an interview episode with the one and only Mr. Brickster. I am your host. I am Justin Summers. And please rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast that is brought to you by the Trending Topics Network and Midwest Territory. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. You can find us on all your social media, Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose or desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. And we have the merch store over at whatamaneuver.net. Like I said, this is an interview episode with Mr. Brickster, and we have him on the line. How's it going, Mr. Brickster?
Bro, B-R-I-C-K, 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 B-R-I-C-K. Brick! Yo, what's good, bro? We're alive here. We're feeling lit up here in Nashville right now, dude. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. So, for those who don't know, obviously, like, we do cover a lot of Northeast Ohio, but we do have a love and affinity for Nashville and Southern Underground Pro. And one thing that we'll get later on in the episode, something I'm doing a little bit this year or this season when it comes to football, we have a Buffalo Bills game against the Browns coming up. Actually, I'll be at that game, but we'll
in the dog pound.
We'll get to that later, man. But dude, how's it been? Like, I'm not even like exactly sure like what happened with you wrestling, but I know like you're doing a lot now with IWTV, which like if I'm telling people right now, like if you're not a subscriber to that service, do it. And I'm seeing a lot of people jump on now, and I'm just like, dude, it's the best money you could spend. I absolutely love it, and that's like not even like kissing ass to anybody. Love IWTV.
Yeah, IWTV is it's an incredible resource. It helps me really be able to plug into my business, my industry, from the comfort of my own home, on an airplane, traveling, wherever I might be. It helps me really, really just be connected with my community. Yeah. IWTV is a community. What we offer people is a lot different than any other wrestling. Regardless if you feel it's better than any other promotion or not, that's subjective. But what is not subjective is the fact that we emotionally engage with our audience and we take them for rides and we tell them stories and they're just as important as the performer is, So I just kind of feel IWTV brings just an atmosphere to wrestling, and it brings everybody in regardless, kind of even with my message. And that's kind of why I really love being involved with IWTV, because regardless of who you are, whether if you're a fan or your commentary, or your main eventing or you're getting squashed, showing to help out, everyone matters, to IWTV. So it's just kind of, it's a pretty easy formula as far as on my line of it. You show up when you're not supposed to, you shut your mouth, open your ears, you help out, do what's asked, and you humble yourself. And I'm telling you right now, if you can do all of those things, literally as far as being a professional wrestler, to try to, for more opportunity or whatever the case is, if you stick to that stuff, I mean, the sky's the limit. It's just, that's what people are looking for. That's what they want. And IWTV's just been awesome. Shout out to, J Rose and Stepstool Sarah and Righteous Jesse and Jerry and Dylan, and just for them even to have me aboard and just to be involved with that and such, because I love wrestling so much. I love being able to do everything. I want to be a Swiss Army knife in the business, so I want to be able to do every part of it, right? So just IWTV showing me the business through a different lens is pretty cool. So yeah, I love IWTV, and if you guys haven't ever tried it or anything, use code Brickster. If not, there's a million other codes, 20 days free, and give it a try and just see what you think of the art, and I promise I'll put my bricks on it. I'll bet my bricks on it.
You mentioned the whole thing of just showing up when you're not supposed to, and keeping your mouth shut and your ears open, and I think that's one thing I've learned as a fan, like nothing that I can do, but I've seen it like so many times within wrestling, and I think like, why don't other people like do this? Like, I'm doing this as a fan, and other people who are wrestlers should be learning this. Like, let's look at, a guy like AJ Gray, who for almost a year worked as a barback for AIW, and then eventually he got a shot, and like he's been doing so well, and even just recently with his Beyond match, which I had told a friend about a month or so ago that I like AJ Gray, but he needs a breakout moment for like everybody to just turn and go, who's this guy? We need to like follow him. And I think that's what he's done. And then also bringing up guys like, Marco Stunt and Cabana Man Dan showing up at Southern Underground Pro, just helping out. And it turns out they were able to get shots. And because of that got Marco like closer to where he is now. And I'm like, again, why aren't other wrestlers learning this?
I think it's hard, because there's not enough food on the table for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times you show up and you just want to eat, even if you're not sitting at the table. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's just not even enough food for the people at the table.
Yeah.
So I think what happens is there's a lot of discouragement, and then there's a lot of self-evaluation, self-reflection, and then there's obviously some pride involved in that too. Mm-hmm. And, you just got to know, like, it depends how much you love the art. The way I was brought up in the art and the way I was mentored by, Lex Luger, and then up in the north with, Grapplers Anonymous, which my first, initial trainer is Brandon Thurston. And, how he's obviously making waves at Beyond right now. And then, I had Mikey every night up there at Grapplers and some of those guys. And, basically it's just one of those things where you just have to pursue the art to make the art better. And you have to respect it no matter what. So mm-hmm. When I show up to a show, if I can't be used as a wrestler per se, where can I be used, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to sit around and do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I got to bring something. I got to somehow find a way to make this product better. And there was times when promoters looked at me, I was injured, like really injured, and like promoters looked at me and they were like, you know what, Brick, like, why don't you just punch tickets, just hand tickets out at the door? Like, cause I was like in a full-fledged cast. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, that works. That works. Cause like, I literally had to like prop my leg up, I just got my knee reconstructed. And it was like, well, you know what, Brick, like, yeah, you can't wrestle, you can't do much, can't really move. Why don't you just punch tickets, just smile, just tell people, thank you for coming, and just like, just engage with people. And like, I created fans that night, like, I don't know, it depends how you are. It depends how you view things. I don't use I don't think any opportunity is a loss one. I showed up to shows. I didn't get spots. Everyone else got the spots. I just so happened to sit next to guys and talk to guys that worked for bigger promotions and got me on bigger cards. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know how you want to look at it. I could just tell you this: show up, be respectful, keep your ears open, your mouth shut, learn something, constantly pay dues, constantly set the ring up if you can, tear it down if you can. Like, that's where I get to learn and talk to people that are newer to the business. That's where I get to, get a chance to just see where they come from or where I can help out there. And sometimes they help me. I don't really know how to say it. I don't want to say there's a complete real formula. But I just think that a lot of people just don't want it that. That's what it comes down to. I want it that bad, I'll do whatever I got to eventually get a shot to be in front of the right people, Just like AJ Gray, great guy, incredible guy. I met him on my first Southern trip on the road with my mentor, awful now in the South. When I came down from Brandon Thurston and Grapplers Anonymous, they sent me over. Dylan Hale sent me over to Kerry. Kerry ended up polishing me, and basically he's my dad in the business, So I don't know. I just brought up a different way. I just want to make sure I make wrestling better. I leave it better the way that it, was before I came in. But AJ Gray, I met him down in the South, first time down there with Kerry, and he told me all about the, serving as a bar back, just showing up, this, that, and the other, and just got a chance to really connect with him and learn from him, just learn from him. And AJ Gray is awesome. I consider him a friend. I got a chance to be with him with the Collective in New York City. Yeah. I've seen him probably a handful of places over the country, and just a great guy. If he ever needs anything, he knows who to call.
I think you actually kind of stumbled upon the formula, and it's not necessarily an easy formula. It's kind of just a bigger way to look at it, is just constantly pay dues. And that could mean different things for different people. And I think one thing I like about you is, like, number one, you have a look like where you're going to turn heads, but like even like right now with you not wrestling, like you're still turning heads with at least a lot of like promo stuff and whatever. Like at a I can't remember if it was this past Southern Underground Pro show or the one before that, where you like cut like a really small video like hyping up the crowd and hyping up Twitter, and I'm like that's something. That is something, and you didn't have to wrestle, but it still brought eyes to the show, and that's something that not everybody can do.
Yeah, and I'm just blessed to be able to do stuff like that, and just be able to constantly just be involved and just stay learning. And if I'm not in the ring on the booking end of it, and, if I'm not doing that, maybe I'm the voice of Wombat for GCW. And if I'm not doing that, maybe I'm hyping the people up, right?
Yeah.
I love people. I love energy. I love getting crazy. So I just think that that's kind of the type of, that's the type of vibe I like to bring with IWTV. That's the type of vibe. If I showed up at any show, I'd just get a bunch of people just riled up, ready to burn the place down, and then I would just hit record,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But that is, what? It's so beautiful, because that actually is the energy that's at our shows. So it gives people a chance. Like you said, you've seen that. We all see a million things a day, but the question is, do you feel something? So if you see that and you're just like, well, wow, like people are just getting like, whoa, like, and it gives you more of an opportunity to get involved, as a viewer online or through the IWTV app. So I want to give them the best wrestling experience. I call it an experience.
Yeah.
I don't know what other people in the business call wrestling. I call it an experience. I think it's very important to constantly make moments and memories, give them an experience. That's what people want this day and age. They want to be entertained. They want an experience. So I call IWTV an experience. So a lot of that is giving people the feels, giving people the vibes, so they completely connect, so they can continue to support it and be fans of it.
And I think that's something that IWTV is right now doing as a whole, of like not just you, but like Jesse, J-Rose, Stepstool Sarah. There's like little bits, things that are coming out on like Twitter and Instagram that's bringing people in a little bit more. And I feel like it's a little bit fresher than everything else that we're used to. And it's creating this atmosphere for IWTV. Like I look at IWTV, how it was like a year and a half ago, and how it's grown, and it keeps growing. It keeps getting better. And I feel like being able to highlight as many companies as they're doing, like this is like such a great time to be alive. Like my favorite thing in the world of like a lot of the wrestling that I can watch is IWTV, because a lot of stuff that I love, a lot of companies that I love, or a lot of companies that I want to learn more about are on there. And it's such a great time. And I love learning about new wrestlers, falling in love with someone who maybe hasn't got to wrestle in my area yet. Like Marco Stunt was a big one. When he finally got booked for J-Lit, I was ecstatic. And now I'm kind of like, okay, who else? Who else that I've seen on IWTV can get a shot up here? And I think right now one of my biggest that I want to see here is Brett Eisen.
And and shout out to just Thorne and just that whole product out there.
Yeah.
To get booked for the J-Lit, to get booked for that promotion, AIW at all, it's just an honor. It's a blessing. I don't know how people take their opportunities this day and age. I constantly try to stay, being fruitful and constantly have the energy to take blessings.
Yeah.
If I've ever got booked by, Thorne or any of that, like that's a blessing. That's something you put on your resume. He doesn't just book anybody. He's been in the business for a long time. He's a true professional. Majority of the people that he's booked are getting paid, doing just well, wrestling, taking care of families, and some of them, even a lot of them, have contracts and are working for all the major promotions. So if you're there, you're in the right direction, my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone will see you. So shout out to all of them. Shout out to Cleveland.
And you made a...
We've had an opportunity. I've met him at the Collective.
I was about to bring that up. Because, like, I think you made an little bit of an impact where he's mentioning your name on the AIW podcast. I mean, I don't think he does that with any random wrestler he runs into. So that was, I think, a big compliment.
Yeah, and it was cool, because you show up to like this, collective, right? And you kind of in the back, and it's kind of like it's like underground, it's underground wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have all the different promotions. You got GCW, you got Interspecies, you got AIW, you got all the big fish, man. That's all you need to know. All the big fish, right? So you walk back there, and you got all. If you're a big time wrestler, and basically in the world, you were there that weekend at that big.
Yeah.
And dude, I was only booked and thank God I got, because that's where I met a lot of people. And sometimes it's all about right place, right time. I got booked because Marco Stunt got injured, and when Marco Stunt got injured, I'm one of the biggest baby faces at Southern Underground Pro. So they were like, well, we need another huge baby. So as soon as some things started happening, they were like, I think we'll do Mance. But then Manser was booked everywhere already because he's just a legend. So it was like, what about Brick, And I was pretty new there, but they gave me the opportunity, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to run with this. So I went down there one shot, and I was okay with that. I was just like, hey, I'll go down there one shot, but one thing I will do is I'll hang around. I won't go around sightseeing. I won't go do all that. I've done that. I don't need to.
Yeah.
Let me just hang there, help out, and meet people. That's it. Hang there, help out, then meet people. So I wrestled, hung out, met the promoters, just helped out. What can I do?
Yeah.
And I think that's where we kind of just developed the relationship. It was kind of right from the jump. He just looked at me. I was like, wow, this guy's just like, I think I told him, I was like, hey, man, whatever you need, I'll go serve beer behind the bar if you want. Or I don't know what I said. I was like, dude, I said something funny that popped him. I was like, because I'll do whatever. Like, dude, there ain't no shame here. So I was like, yeah, whatever you need, just let me know. And I don't think he needed me to do much that night. But either way, got a chance to meet him. Incredible gentleman. I hope one day I'm blessed to work for that company.
I feel like right now in independent wrestling, there's all these companies popping up, that means there's going to be more opportunities elsewhere, and like we're just seeing it bit by bit. Like I said, I have a list of people that I would love to see in AIW. You are one of them. Brett's one of them. I like to see the tag team of Violence is Forever. Like, not just Dom and AIW. Like, I'd love to see Koo up here too. Like, I first met Koo at AIW. Like, I recognized him, and I was like, can I get a picture? Because I was thinking at that time, like, I don't know when you're going to wrestle here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go down to SUP. So you're here. Let me get a picture. He's like, I'm not even wrestling. And I'm like, well, this is my opportunity, and I'm just seizing it.
And big shout out to them. They were just at WXW in Germany, which is that's incredible. That's a huge accomplishment in itself. People wrestle 20, 25 years, a whole career, never get overseas to do stuff like that. So, shout out to them and all their success, and they're all over the place, and that's great. Koo is a big part of bringing me up with Kerry down here, and he was on the road with me, and I just try to learn from everybody. But I know. Who's going to get to Cleveland? Who's going to get to the Dog Pound? I know it's one of those things. It's kind of funny because you just look at it, and it's I appreciate that stuff, though, as a wrestler, I appreciate it. A lot of people get all salty, but, like, I just think it's so awesome where you have bookers that, like, they just book. It's not based off public decision. It's not based off the followers. It's based off, this is what I think's entertaining. This is what I want. This is what the people demand. I only put people on, that fit to my roster. It's like, it's almost like, GCW, I don't know, with my style of wrestling, per se, if I would ever be their big, huge guy. And you would say, well, Brick, why? It's GCW. I said, well, the reality is I wrestle different. So their roster, they don't really use people on the roster like me. So am I offended or whatever? Absolutely not. Like, I'm a businessman first. Like, I know how this works. So, like, sometimes people get really just so salty about the fact that like promotions will book them or this, that, and the other. And like, you know, just like it's a different football team. If a quarterback goes down, they get a quarterback. They don't go for a wide receiver or running back, you know? So it's like, you just gotta get in where you fit in, you know, and just do good with what you got. And I'm telling you, if you do good with what you got, you'll eventually end up everywhere. No one will, you'll be demanded that they won't have a choice. And that's kind of what the idea is.
And I think one thing about you, like with your background, you weren't just some, you know, random person who got trained by a random person and, you know, went through the steps. You had a little bit of notoriety, like of being on I Love New York and then getting, you know, initially trained by Lex Luger. I mean, those are two big pieces, but you're not like, you're not getting a cakewalk and you're not wanting a cakewalk. You're wanting to work for it. You're wanting to earn it. And obviously when you earn it, like it feels so much better.
Yeah. I mean, I'm basically going to die for it. It's weird. It's one of those things where I have some people that, you know, Lex Luger's mentored and I became friends with and, you know, kind of helped them out a little bit in the business here and there. And Lex helped them out, whatever, to get a tryout. Although regardless, they probably would have got a tryout anyways. They're freak athletes and such. And, you know, the tryout, you know, I would hope, you know, once, you know, I would hope that I can, you know, get that. And there's a good chance I can. I just was one of those guys, and I feel like everyone's journey is different. And it just so seemed for me, I only have one shot. It's like one shot, one kill with this business. So I feel personally, and this is me being honest, I feel that when I go in front of these companies, whether it's, you know, All Elite Wrestling or TNA or WWE, or anything that would want Brick Nation and Brickster, I feel that I want to be able to look at them in the face and tell them that I gave up everything almost in my life for it. I've went through surgeries. I've relocated. I gave up, you know, thousands upon thousands of dollars. I gave up the workforce. I gave up everything for it, you know, my body. And I just want to be able to look at them and just say, hey, I gave up everything for this business. I want this job. I'm willing to die for it, you know? And I just think that that's what I need to do to get that job. I don't know why I feel that way, but I don't ever want to be denied.
Yeah.
And I feel like the best way to go into a tryout for something with 30 other guys that, you know, are good athletes or maybe can do the high flying, this, that, and the other, the most, you know, I know my strengths, right? So I know that my promo is going to, you know, help me there. And then basically the only way I'm going to be able to ice them, because they want to know you're willing to give it all up, and to basically show them and tell them that I have gave it all up. I want this business. I'm willing to do anything for it. I wanted to make sure when I do that tryout that I can say that in all honesty.
You talk about relocation, and if I'm correct, you are originally from Buffalo, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what is it like living in Buffalo? I mean, it's a very broad question, but I always feel like when it comes to a lot of sports stuff, like you guys suffer as much as we do. And when it comes to winners, you guys suffer as much, if not more, because of the lake effect snow that, like, it'll hit us in Northeast Ohio and in Cleveland, but there's like way more that comes over to Buffalo and just drops.
Man, Buffalo is, I love Buffalo. Buffalo's hardworking, you know, definitely Bills Mafia, stand up, 716. You know, go Bills, we're on a tear. But like, I love Buffalo. It's been home my whole life. The food's great. My family's awesome. I got some great friends. I got some great connections there. It's got great seasons. Tim Hortons is awesome.
Yeah.
Pizza's amazing. Leo's Pizza's amazing. Ted's Hot Dogs is amazing.
What's the
Mayor Brothers Cider is amazing. There's so much good food there. I love Buffalo. It's great. For what I wanted to do and what I want to, you know, be for my life, it just wasn't going to work because my mom, love her to death. She's been in the steel mill for like 20, 25 years. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's one of those lifestyles where, you know, you're really putting in the work and you're working the swing shift. And so people in Buffalo really work hard. And, I just wanted to be more an entertainer, and I'm a believer. And when I started pursuing the wrestling dream, I felt called out of Buffalo to an entertainment city. I think there was maybe 3, 4 we were thinking about, me and my wife, my boy, and praying about, and then we felt called here. So we decided to come, never look back, and tomorrow, I'm basically about here 2 years. Tomorrow, I officially close on the house that I just built that I spent the last 5-6 months doing. That's kind of where I've been MIA.
Still going to be in Nashville?
Yes.
Such a fun place. Like I'll get back to Nashville in a second, but one place that you didn't mention, and it seems to be like if you're from Buffalo, like that it is a holy ground, and that's Anchor Bar. The
Anchor Bar is great. It's great. I mean, it's good. I guess it's good for commercial people. It's just like living there and stuff. It's just not the best. And, the bar bill and, Duff's potentially, and just any local kind of pizza shop probably could, have them just as good. But yeah, I mean, Anchor Bar's good. It's good. I'm not, it's at the airport, and I go, I'm basically up there. I was up there like the last 3 out of the 5 weekends, but whenever I'm up there and I fly home, I always order some to take home. And I typically order 2 boxes of them to take home, and I always kind of drop them or dump them or give them to someone around here to try them. And everyone loves them. They do. Everyone loves them. But I got other little places that I like better, I think, in Buffalo.
I think you get that with a lot of things where there's like the local flavor, but then there's something that might be a little bit more touristy. Like locals might like it, but it's just like, I've had it a million times. I kind of prefer going this way. But I know, like I had some friends of mine from Montreal. They came down to Cleveland for a weekend, and then on the way back, they hit Anchor Bar. And like while they were here, they tried Quaker Steak, which is one of my favorite wing joints, and like a kind of a Midwest-ish chain with like random ones elsewhere.
I like it. I like Quaker Steak all day. Yeah, they had one up in Buffalo for a minute. Someone in Pittsburgh, I think, came and opened it. I think it's from a business, but it's from Pittsburgh. But yeah, no, I actually really enjoy Quaker Steak and Lube.
Oh, it's one of my favorite wing joints. Like but I don't like go there a lot. There's some like mom and pop stuff or like stuff that I kind of grew up on that it's a little bit closer that if I get a chance to get it, I'll get it. But that's kind of like if I'm going to a big wing joint, I'll always pick that over BW3s.
Yeah. I got you.
But going back to Nashville, like when relocating there and everything, like I went down there for the first time. Like I don't want to say for the first time. Like I'm a truck driver for a couple of years. I was over the road, and I was through Nashville a bunch of times. But like actually going there on my own and really getting to experience it, like that was back in January during the weekend of I Am King, and I kind of fell in love. To where I'm like, if I ever move away from Northeast Ohio, like Nashville is going to be high up there for me. Like the winter isn't too bad, at least from what I'm used to, because I know when I went down, it was a really bad storm up here. But once I got past, or even got out of Ohio, there was very little snow. And I think on show day, we were talking about like, oh, look at all the snow out there, and I was like, stop it. I left to way more than this. Like this is nothing. This is a vacation for me.
Sure. And it's just I did it for a few reasons. My wife's originally from the South, so she had no problem getting out.
Yeah.
I don't really want to raise my kids in snow just because it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot.
Yeah.
Weird. It's just a lot. And with everything that I was doing and even what she does, she's a boss in her workforce. She's in the hospitality biz. But like everything that we were doing, it just kind of called us down here. And, without paying state income tax and all the taxes in New York State, as much as it's really, really expensive here, I'm still kind of, I don't know, I'm just kind of, it's not as bad, It's just not as bad as it could have been.
There's something about the people too. I got to stay at, Jesse and Brittany's house, and like, I don't know, just, it felt like a really, really nice time. And maybe it being an outsider, like I kind of felt that, but I think Nashville is a place that I would love to move to.
Yeah. And that's the other cool thing about it too. There's definitely a transition in it all, but when I got here and started realizing how many people are, not from here, I mean, there are people here, but majority of the people are new here. So it's just really cool to just kind of look at each other and you just kind of all get each other's back because you're all in the same boat, It's like not like moving out to the middle of, Arkansas and, being the first guy to move into a town in, a year. There's 110 people moving here a day. It's nearly, it's like almost impossible to return a U-Haul because they're so full, because there's none leaving. They're all coming. And it's really crazy, but the city is absolutely beautiful. The people are awesome. It's just special here. I don't know. I've been all over the world. I really have. I've seen a lot of cool cities, and that's why I built a house here. I would want to live here. Yeah, I'm completely fine staying here. I wouldn't want to go anywhere else.
I think the only place that contends a little bit for me when it comes to Nashville, and it's definitely its own beast, and that's San Antonio, Texas. You're kind of like, the thing about Texas, like, I feel like everything's kind of in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, you got your cities, but like after so many miles, like it's just nothing. But you're close to the border. It's definitely much warmer there. Dallas isn't that far. Houston isn't that far. I mean, they're far, but still decently located. But I think, like I said, it's in between them two if I ever move from the area.
Sure.
So
no, it seems nice down there. Yeah, I think Austin's one of the I think that is the fastest growing city, Austin, Texas, and then right behind it's Nashville, Murfreesboro. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good spot.
So we touched upon it a little bit, and I think now would be the perfect time. You talk about your Bills, and like I said, like I know you guys have suffered just as much as we have. I think more when it comes to like making it to the Super Bowl multiple years in a row, and then losing. I mean, we've never even made it. We don't even know what it feels like to even lose in the Super Bowl. But we got right now this season, and Bills are on fire. I didn't think they'd be this hot, and like it is crazy. Like they could. It's hard to take that division, but
I know. But we probably, let's just start off with go Bills, Bills Mafia, stand up, Brick Nation, stand up, Poncho Strong. And let's just go right to the Patriots game, because that's what everyone always wants to talk about, is New England Patriots.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I get it. I mean, they've been our daddy for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
However, this year they beat us, and they beat us because someone, basically gave a blow to Josh Allen's head, which took him out on a concussion.
Yeah.
Now, Josh Allen at this point leads the NFL in the fourth quarter with his passing rate. So there's a good chance that Josh Allen finishes that game, we could have won it.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the best when he's the hottest. So whatever. But I just it's good for the city. It's good for Buffalo when the Bills are good. Our fans travel incredibly well. A couple weeks ago, I had everybody, friends, family, everybody in for the game here in Nashville.
Yeah.
And we basically took over this. And it was awesome, and the cool thing about Tennessee and the cool thing about Nashville is, like, no one's kind of really from here. So no one really kind of cares. And, like, no one gives anyone problems. So everyone just gets crazy and everyone tolerates it and has fun, so that's the cool thing about it. And yeah, the Bills are, it's tough. It's tough for me in the aspect of, it's like you get emotionally connected to these teams, and then, you go through so much with them. So I want them to do good. I always hope for them to do good. If they don't and they lose or something, I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
But, I'm really happy with where we are now and the direction we're going. And Coach McDermott's, he's a boss. So he's been doing quite a bit with that team. That defense is stellar, man.
Mm-hmm. I think, like, coming into this season, I was thinking, like, Browns, Bills, that should be like a really good game, but like the way we've played and everything, and like, this weekend, like, we have the Patriots, and after what they did on Monday Night Football, I'm like, oh great, this is going to be horrible. And then a few weeks later, we have the Bills here in Cleveland. I do have tickets on the part of because, like, I mean, you guys got Bills Mafia, we have Browns backers, and there's actually like Browns backers clubs in like cities, and my girlfriend's dad is a part of one of them locally, and they have at least one bus trip a year where the bus gets loaded up early in the morning, not early, about 8 or 9. We go up to the stadium, drink, whatever, tailgate, and then like an hour after the game's over, bus leaves, comes back. So everybody can have a fun time. If they want to drink, you have plenty.
Yeah. We've done that. Yeah, always. We always do stuff like that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So the they're going 2 games this year, but we picked the Bills game mainly because it's the earlier of the 2. And like, oh, like that's going to be so crazy. And I'm curious to like,
you have a chance to probably win. I mean, you guys obviously are, you guys have all the right pieces to be a good team. You guys just struggling. Huh?
Yeah. I think that there was a lot of people coming into the season, and I mean, I was kind of one of them. I was thinking at least 9-7. Now I've tempered a little bit. I'm like, now give me 8-8. I'll be happy with that. Our division is oddly struggling to where it's like a toss-up of who's going to win. The only one I think that's kind of out of it is the Bengals, but Pittsburgh can do it. We could do it, and so could the Ravens. And they're a team that we surprisingly beat in Baltimore, if I'm correct. And I don't know if that was a fluke or what, but...
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm kind of worried about you guys. No offense, but like, Cleveland came in and people already co-signed them, because of the roster, and that's fine. I wasn't a guy who co-signed him right away. I just wasn't. I mean, I know that that first week you guys just get...
We got smoked by the Titans. But
you guys got smoked the first week, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, to me, it's just a team that it's got to prove a little bit of something. I think, Titans aren't good. They're just not.
No.
Titans aren't good.
I think with us, it was like competitive going into the 4th, I want to say. And then there's just like a lot of bad throws, a lot of bad plays that like turned into interceptions and made easy points for Tennessee. But the thing that I always tell people when it comes to football, and I had to tell the people during week 1 and they were acting like I was crazy, but like, no, this happens every year. The schedule comes out in like April and every team circles week 1 and they prepare everything for week 1. So that's why you'll see crazy, crazy results week 1. Like I remember, I forget what year it was, but the Niners stomped the Cowboys week 1, or it was vice versa, whatever. Right. And whoever won, who you think like, oh, they're going to be great. No, they didn't win anything barely that year. And the team that lost was the one that actually went to the playoffs. So it's like crazy shit happens week 1. So I'm hoping that's what it is for the Titans and the Browns, but it's definitely everything just not clicking right or whatever. But hopefully like I said, I want at least 8-8, come out of this, have a decent draft, and there's no reason why we can't be contenders next year.
Yeah, I think you guys are in a good spot. I'm not worried about it. I don't really know. It'll be a good game. I mean, you're going to a good game. The Bills and the Browns are going to be a good game, and hopefully the weather won't be too bad. When is it?
It is
December.
No, it's November 10th.
Nah, you guys, that should be perfect.
Really curious, to see how many Bills fans come in because, granted, like ticket sales for this year for us has been crazy, but I don't know how they are. I don't know how they are on secondhand market right now. But you figure
I looked because I was in Buffalo last week, and my mom and they were looking at maybe going, look like it's about $200 a ticket.
Yeah. So I don't know.
That's 300. That's 300 level.
Yeah, that's nosebleeds, and that I had season tickets.
That's where that game is, though. That's kind of the value of that game right now. So that makes sense. And all you guys I think there'll be a lot more Bills fans than you think. Oh. And I know some that are coming up on buses just like you're talking about and that type of stuff.
Oh, yeah, because I was going to say, Buffalo and Cleveland's not that far. That's an easy bus trip for a lot of people. And, Bills Mafia is crazy. They give Browns fans a run for our money. I don't know if we do as much crazy shit, but the intensity level is nuts with you guys. I mean, you obviously know that.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a great game. I can't wait for it. I wish I was there for it. I wish I could wrestle for John Thorne and go see it.
That's the weekend after the next AIW show, but that show is in Akron. All right, let's start to wrap this show up and get into the Fave 5 questions.
Hey, this is Booker T, 5-time champ, and this is the Fave 5 questions. Now, can you dig it?
Word.
All right. Question number 1. I'm trying to figure out one that's probably really good for you. I mean, we're in October. This is perfect. Addams Family or the Munsters?
Addams Family.
Any particular reason?
No, I was just more entertained by it. I don't know why, but probably because it was more my era.
The thing that I always say with that question is, like, there's really no right or wrong answer. It's just, like, where you fall. Because...
Yeah. That's kind of where I think it's just where I fell with it. I'm not mad at either or.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's kind of where I fall with it, yeah.
Sometimes people will, like for Addams Family, like they'll definitely say the movie. Or if they want to go as crazy, some of like the video games from like Nintendo and Super Nintendo. Like maybe like that resonates a little bit more than Munsters. But our generation also grew up with Munsters on Nick at Night, and like that was very, very common too.
Sure.
Question number 2. Rank the fast food chicken nuggets between McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's.
Wendy's takes over for sure. Wendy's for sure is the best. And then McDonald's and Burger King.
Okay. The big key...
Yeah, I love Wendy's chicken nuggets.
It's a big toss-up between Wendy's and McDonald's for a lot of people. I'm more McDonald's, but I think there's a hardcore nostalgia when it comes to that. To where if I bite into a McDonald's chicken nugget, with like especially with their ketchup, like that takes me back to when I was like 5.
Gotcha.
All right, question number 3. Favorite video game console?
So a little bit about me. I grew up on video games. My dad was huge on video games. He used to ground us, and if he would get stuck on a part, he would take us off groundment or whatever, just to keep the level.
That's great.
Yeah, my dad. So my dad would start getting like stuff from Japan. He'd get it in Japanese. So we got like the PlayStations before they came to America. And he'd like start learning how to read the other languages. I never could, but he would have everything. We had Jaguar, we had Genesises, Jaguars, Sega CDs, Neo Geos, GameCubes, Super Nintendos. We have a few arcade machines. I have Bomberman, Burger Time, Galaga. And then everything that new came out, we just jumped on. So we have, the Xbox Ones and all that stuff. So my favorite console is probably the Xbox One, because one of my favorite games, newer games anyhow, is Gears of War.
Oh,
I like playing that. So, the One's the only console that holds that. I like Halo too. That kind of works. And a Call of Duty guy. Growing up, some games I loved God of War. God of War probably was one of the best games I've ever played. Silent Rain was a really good game that we played. What else did we? BioShock. BioShock was so good. Yeah, so I'm kind of a game nerd. I wouldn't say I do it as much now in my adulthood as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm about to move everything from Buffalo down to Nashville in my new house in the next couple weeks, including my arcade machines and stuff. So I'm excited about it.
Gears of War is one of my favorite franchises. Like I recently, what did I do? I wanted to rebeat. I went back. I never fully finished 1. Beat it on the 360 version. Went out and bought the remastered version so I could play the extra chapter. Beat that. Beat the not necessarily the prequel, but the Judgment Day. Beat that. Went back. Finally beat 4. It was one of those things. Like I played it for a while. And then I got busy, and it just, like, sat, never picked it back up, but beat it. And, like, eventually I want to get out and buy 5. Time has been an issue lately, but it's going to be something I eventually get to, and I just have so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, that is one of my favorite franchises. Like, it's between that and Twisted Metal.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's a good one, yeah. That's so good. Yeah, Twisted Metal was so good.
Since you mentioned it, this is a question that I've added, but I have not got to ask anybody yet. Favorite arcade game? Because I think that's like, it goes hand in hand. You mentioned having like a lot of arcade games. If you want to, you could throw in pinball too, but whatever. Like what's your favorite arcade game?
I would do probably a dope pinball machine if I could, just because they're so dope, but I probably didn't run. I don't think I would run to the arcade for pinball. So like, I'll throw a few things out there. The claw game I'm really good at.
Okay.
So I typically play those because I can win them. Growing up, I think the game that we loved to play in the arcade the most was probably Mortal Kombat.
Okay. For me, I actually had a friend who had his dad had some pinball machines, and the one that's always sticks out, and I found out like a lot of people loved it too, is the Addams Family pinball game.
That's cool, yeah.
But when it comes to arcade games like Simpsons, that's one that I remember at a few different locations.
Yeah, I remember that. It's a good one, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Simpsons is so good. And then when the Xbox Arcade released it for a very limited time, like I snatched that up, and I think I still have my 360 somewhere that still has, like, it has that arcade game, the X-Men arcade game, and the Turtles arcade game, which are like 3 of my favorites.
Yeah, the Turtle arcade game. Those are all good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great ones. Yeah, Simpsons, Turtles. Yeah, those were so legit.
Question number 5, and this is the Wilkman question. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
The thing that my kind of argue, because I'm with Wilk, I don't think it is, but I think the way that I differentiate it from the question, it's not a holiday movie. And I think when people say...
No, it's not a holiday movie.
Yeah. So, like, I think when some people say Christmas movie, they mean holiday movie. Like, is Die Hard a holiday movie? No. But I can concede, like, okay, to me, it's not a Christmas movie, but if you want to go, well, it takes that place on that day, then yes, it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, Christmas movie all day.
Kind of goes with that. What is your favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, man.
A lot of good ones.
Favorite Christmas movie. I just feel there's nothing better. I don't know why, and maybe this is just from me growing up, but nothing better than, Christmas time, cold outside, snow's falling, family, friends, something warm, and I just feel like Home Alone should be playing.
Yes, that's how I roll. That's probably how I would have it if you came to my party. I'd probably have one of the Home Alones on, probably the first one, to be honest. And I feel like that's kind of where, I think The Grinch is kind of, a special movie too and all that. But, those 2 movies are movies that can really set the Christmas mood for me right away. I think Home Alone is one of the most popular answers. It's in between that and Jingle All the Way, which is...
I like that movie.
Yeah.
But Home Alone just had such a lifelong impact on me. I don't know how.
For me, when it comes to Home Alone, when I'm weird on this, I kind of like 2 more than 1, but it's one of the main reasons is because I love the Talkboy tape recorder. Like, I recently went to a toy show earlier this year, and I bought one. I also bought a Turbo Man doll, but that was way more expensive. But there was a lot more nostalgia with the Talkboy tape recorder, and that was launched because of that movie. I still love 1. I still love 2. But if you made me pick, there's that little bit of nostalgia that bumps 1 because of that. But 1 is still so good.
I love them all, man. As soon as I see Macaulay Culkin, it's over,
All right, question.
Man, I wish I would have had his gig.
Oh, God.
I would have definitely would have tried to, I wouldn't have tried to derail my life. But, man, I would have loved to be in those movies.
Question number 6, which I always tailor around my guests, but for this, I'm going to do this time of year. We just talked about Christmas movies. What's your favorite Halloween movie?
My favorite movie of all time, they'll probably say this, but I don't know if this is a Halloween movie, but it's The Lost Boys. I'm a Lost Boys guy. Okay. I love The Lost Boys.
I don't think that's
favorite movie of all time. Is that not a Halloween movie? That's what I would watch for Halloween. I guess Halloween movies. Okay. So I guess scary horror movie. That's what I would say. I just like them all, I don't know. I just like them all. I like all horror movies, and I'll tell you what I don't. Okay, I don't like Paranormal Activity stuff.
Okay,
it just doesn't freak me out. It's kind of corny, and I can't get into it. So I don't know if it's a me thing or if I have issues or if it's just kind of dumb. But I don't know. But I just can't get into the movie.
I feel that, and then when it comes to Halloween, this is one thing that I've realized. Because I created a list of horror and Halloween movies I was going to watch this year, where horror is what a lot of people think of. So you're thinking of your Friday the 13th, your Halloweens, your Nightmare on Elm Streets. Maybe you go the Universal monster route, but there's also movies like Monster House or Clue.
I like Casper.
Yeah,
I guess Casper would be mine.
I was about to say Casper. That's another one where it's is it scary? No, but it's definitely Halloween.
Yeah, Casper.
Okay. All right, man. That'll do it. Any final thoughts or last minute plugs before we go?
Oh, that's it, my man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just going to be, I'll be back. I'll be somewhere. So keep following me. I appreciate everyone. Appreciate everyone who shows love, everyone who believes in my vision, believes in Brick Nation. It's not about me. It's about us. And, continue to watch IWTV and follow the wrestling movement and support Southern Underground Pro, support Wrestling Cheers, and just let's make wrestling better together, regardless of what spot you fall on the food chain. Just kind of play your position, play your role at that time. And I think it's just better for everyone. And I think it's typically best for all of us.
You want to throw out your handles for everybody, just in case?
Yeah. So Mr. Brickster at Twitter, it's Mr. Brickster with 2 R's at Twitter. And then at Instagram, Mr. Brickster. Yeah. Hit me up. Follow the journey. Follow Brick Nation. Still got a lot of work to do. About to come back strong. About to pop up. And it's going to be big. So everyone have a good holiday. And I'm excited to move into this house. And, man, I'm excited to continue to just follow this wrestling dream. So IWTV Thursday, Beyond Wrestling, Uncharted Territories. Make sure you guys tune in. It's going to be great. So.
And, of course, you can find myself at HeavySet330 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, much like you can find the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com, and we have the merch store over at whatamaneuver.net. Like I said, please rate, review, and subscribe to wherever you're listening to this podcast, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. Check out our other podcast friends on the Trending Topics Network, such as All Beer Inside, Eurovision Showcase, Old School at the Movie, and Wrestling with Altitude. And then also, not from the Trending Topics Network, podcast friends such as Let the Hate Flow Through You, Pod Van Dam, Super Fantastic Podcast, Road Home from Wrestling, Haunted Home Video, The IndieCast, Center Stage, Sobros Network, UXWA Today, Big Gold Belt Podcast, the co-host wrestling show, Spotlight Series, I Got Your 5 Stars, and Not Ready for Primetime Wrestling. Check out our other non-podcast friends such as Thrift Store Jobber, The Savage Stash, Ringside Shots Photography, Sickening Pictures, Good Company, Stay Tough, Smokin' Jay's Barbecue, Wrestle Void, Midwest Territory, Southern Underground Pro, and the official graphic designer of Wrestling Cheers, Moy Boy Designs. That will do it for us here on Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, even if you are in the Bills Mafia. Later.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Would you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
What you can say, rules are all the same.